আমি তোমাকে
Yo, what's up everybody? It's G from X and G here. Gonna be doing another track breakdown today. Right here I got our song Bando, and it's from our second album Persona that we put out a couple years ago. And so just kind of wanted to go through this one just like we did with our track Whiplash and just kind of show you guys how we made it. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, go ahead and you can check out the Whiplash video. It's going to be right here, and check that out as well. Subscribe to our channel and all that fun jazz, and we'll be posting more track breakdowns, tutorials, other fun vids of all sorts of stuff, who knows what. But today, yeah, let's go ahead and get into this here. So we're gonna go ahead and start, and we got this intro here. And so we just have this like reverse vocal bit that's happening. We got this other little sample. I don't remember what this is from. Let's see. Yeah, I think this was something that like either Christian or I recorded. I don't know if it's an actual song or not. I can't remember the source of where it came from. So we got that. This gong, and I think there's like some birds. Where is that sample? Well, anyways, there's a bird sample. Is this it? No, I don't know. Yeah, there's some birds, you can hear it there. And so anyways, then it comes in here, and we got all of these drums that kind of start coming in, these build drums. It's just like a little hi-hat loop that just has been stretched a little bit. So it's got like this like glitchy effect to it. Then this contact drum. Yeah, if I go ahead and unfreeze this should... Yeah, so let's see, what is this? I think this is from like this studio drummer. Oh well, this is all sorts of crazy looking. Alright, I'm not sure what's going on here, but it says session kit, so I think it's from Studio Drummer. I'm not sure what's going on with the interface here. And so we just have on this, if I just go ahead and turn all that off. Just a basic snare, and add a little bit of erosion through guitar rig. And then some compression and EQ on it, and yeah, that's basically it. Nothing too crazy, but and then we have like all these other drums coming in. And these are all just a bunch of little cuts from, looks like just some percussion loop, just a sample. I mean, there's no processing on those. There's like this 909 buildup as well. Yeah, so there's all of that happening, and then we have the sample here. And so that's just, I think that was from like some Facebook video that we just found. There's like a guy who's just like playing, he's just jamming on the drums. He's having a good time. Yeah, this. So yeah, we got that going, and all builds up with all this together, and we have this little sample right before the drop, before it drops in. And so this is actually from an old demo of this song. So this is actually a combination of two different songs. So we made this Jurassic demo back in like 2014, 2015, and then we mashed it with an older, slower version of this Bando track. So I'll show you Jurassic here. So yeah, that was that. I mean, like that when that drop comes in, it's kind of lackluster. We felt. I mean, it's dope and all that, but we were just like we want it to be just more big, more angry. And so if I search here, let's see if I can find the old demo of Bando. Bando. So many files that are loading. Now I'm like missing them all. I think that was it that I just saw. Bando box, Bando. 140. I think it's this. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, excuse the blown out 808s. This was like an old demo of that track. And so basically we went and combined this Jurassic tune and that old demo Bando and just sped it up to 141. It just felt right. And then we get into this drop right here that ended up being the final version. So yeah, it just felt way more energetic, had more just like oomph to it. So we have, excuse me. So we have all these different 808s. Trying to find the main thing. Yeah, so we got these. It was just like all these different sounds that we recorded, and I think most of them were 808 samples that we just pitched super high. Yeah, so those are all different 808 samples that we just pitched like super high, and I think we turned them on to like texture mode, so they're all like grainy sounding. And so we just like recorded this stem out. Yeah, and so then we went and we just pitched them a little bit to fit the key of what we were working with. And let's see. Yeah, there's just like some other little sounds in here. And so that's like in the build up, but so they're kind of like all throughout the entire track. But the main part, I mean, like that you hear is all of this, and then there's like these other 808s too. Oh, whoops, it has this like white layer on top. just like white noise. Yeah, so there's all these different 808s happening. This rich white 808 is from like a Quicks pack, so shout out to Quicks. And then all these like other different 808 samples we got here. I mean, nothing super crazy going on these 808s. Processing wise, again, this is another old project where the way that we process stuff is totally different compared to like how it is now. So this is when I learned about doing like multiband compression and all that stuff, thanks to our buddy Medicine. And so he was telling us about, just take the multiband compression and just like beef it up in the low range and just the low range, and it adds to it. So, I mean, now, if you guys want to see, basically we just do, what is it? Just use Corpus. I think it was Ben from he told us about this tip. I guess Carmack uses this kick type preset on all of his 808s, and it just makes it. So there's that. Just adds so much more oomph to it. Yeah, so then if we copy it over to this one too. And you can kind of play with the dry wet. And sometimes it can, like the kick tight can be too much on 808 and it just blows it out, and so you kind of play with the dry wet and you can get like a nice balance, but still bring out like a lot of the body of the sub in there. So anyway, so we got all of that going on, just some kicks, and we'll show you the main drums. Let's the effects. Atmosphere. Yeah, so here's like the main drums going on. And again, it's just lots of random samples and kind of just finding little things and just piecing them together. So here, let me get a bit more window space. Got these snares. Yeah, so all these like different random little percussion sounds, and then there's all this extra atmosphere on top to kind of build just like bed for everything to sit on top of. And this, again, just some very obscure random sample. Yeah, I don't even remember like where we found that. It's either a sample pack or just like YouTube or something like that. Same with this. I mean, this is going in the background. There's like this, almost like a square synth type of sound going on. And then we have all this additional Foley cuts and bits. And then of course the 808 parts, these like metal 808s that we made all tinny. Along with all of these little vocal cuts as well. So these are all different little Vox cuts that we put in there. And so here, I'll just solo this group. So I think this was just some recordings that we did. Yeah. So that was Christian X doing some, just recording some stuff, and I think this too. Yeah. Yeah, so we scrubbed through here. Kind of just like going over this other idea that we're working on, and we just picked this one bit. I don't know why I can't scrub through it. I'll have to fix my settings. But just thought that was pretty cool, and I think we just put guitar rig on it. Yeah, so I just did this megaphone preset and kind of blew it out. Later with some other stuff. And this other weird one. This, again, this was just from like some YouTube video of, like a girl.
Here comes language apps number 2. Korean.
And I think these little bits are from this machine that was like teaching her language. We'll go and we'll link the video to the sample in the description of this video. So anyway, so that's basically all that's pretty much happening in this whole bit, and so we'll keep going. Oh yeah, so one thing I did want to talk about is these fills here, and along with like this other sample, these horns. Yeah, these. So these horns. And so I can't remember where these came from. Either it was a sample or it was something from this acapella. I can't remember exactly, but yeah. So there's like all these different cuts, and if you want to see the processing, it's just this ping pong, really short delay time. Yeah, and then doesn't look like there's any reverb happening right here. It's all mostly just coming from this ping pong. And so there's the horn sample, and going back down, we have these fills here. With this other kick. So yeah, again, this was all just a bunch of different drumline samples. Yeah, just a bunch of different drumline samples that we just kind of pieced together. Same with this. This is just cut from, I think, just a pack of different tom sounds. Yeah, so these are all like the different samples that came from this project. And so, yeah, some of them are pitched, some of them are not. Pitched lower. But normally, and so then we'll get into, it builds back up again. Oops. And we got this like Kill Bill siren in the background. Just a massive patch. So, and again, this ballet funk sample. And all these build drums. And then now we'll go into this second drop where like this main bass happened. So we have this going on throughout the second break / build. And so it's kind of like filtered coming in. And then it drops in right here. yeah, so we have this like automating, this filter automating to open for each hit, as well as this overdrive. And over here, it opens up more. And so again, I think this was just some sample, yeah, just that, and then again, just pitch down and some processing on it, just to kind of mess around with it and just make it weird and interesting throughout the track. And then it goes back into like the filter bit. And so that's all through this whole part. And again, sorry, this project is a little bit messy. I haven't fully organized it quite yet, but basically like there's all the drums going through here. So then this snare is all like textured and stretched just to make it sound like that. And then just these like running snares. This. And then we got these other bits along with this. So yeah, lots of different little drum samples happening out here. So, and then it goes into this last bit with the sound, and a lot of people were saying it sounds like that, that compa, I think that's who it is, the compa track, like that old dubstep track. Oh man, where is that sample? Oh, here it is. And so this sound here, and so when you listen to it in context, and so a lot of people were saying it sounds like a compa tune. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like one of like the first dubstep tunes I remember hearing, like way back then. And so yeah, it's just this like Kawika sample. I don't know if we did anything to it. I think that was what we ended up freezing out. So Kawika, I wonder if I could find like the original sample, but I think it was a lot more higher. And then we just ended up freezing out this stem and just having that go through. Oh, I might not have the pack. Yes, I think it was one of these samples. Maybe in here? Oh. Yeah, it was one of these Kawika samples, and so we ended up just like freezing this out where it's all low, and it has a guitar rig on it, just to kind of beef it up a bit more, stereo width, and then just like filtered it so it's not so in your face like without it. It's pretty aggressive, so then we put that and it's more subtle. So yeah, there's all of that happening. Lots of different this like clock hat that's being panned back and forth. and tons of effects, tons of atmosphere and stuff like that. And then just all these drums still going on. So yeah, I mean, nothing's too special going on with the kick. Looks like this when we went and did some multi-band compression. Again, just kind of experimenting because we had just learned about that technique, and usually we'll layer like 1 to 2 to even like we've done upwards of like 5 kicks, just all layered together, just to make like a really big meaty kick, and just pulling different parts of like kicks that we like and just like mash them together. Kind of like how a lot of people do to create like snares, like especially in the dubstep community or glitch hop community, everyone's just like throwing like 10 different snare samples on and then just like, all right, this sounds dope, let's do it. And so yeah, try it with kicks too. It definitely can add a lot to just like your low end. And then also something that I've learned is just to kind of roll off. I mean, now I kind of do it more like this, where I roll off maybe around there, and it just allows for all of your sub to come in better through here. So that way there's like not all this low end from the kick that's fighting with it, and it's phasing and distorting and just sounding muddy. So kind of like roll off maybe around, what is it, like 80 hertz? Yeah. And so then if you just like have these two, just the kick and the sub. I don't think I put that on. But yeah, and then I'll go and like roll my 808s more like that. And then if we go and throw on this kick tight. So yeah, I'll probably have like something like that, and then I'll go and duplicate the layer and have, yeah, like this one open up and just roll all that off. And probably turn that off, turn that off. So that way you keep your low end still really clean, and it's just like, you know, everything is being pushed in the low end part, but you can still have like this top end that that we liked from this sample. So that way, you know, it sounds fat, but still has like that girth to it too. So anyways, so yeah, so that's all that. Oops. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, just lots of recording samples and just finding obscure stuff on YouTube and other places like that. I mean, if anyone knows if this right here is like a song, what am I doing? I can't remember if this is an actual song. I mean, I'm sure it is, but neither of us remember where this is from, and it's been driving us crazy. But I think it was something that we recorded on one of our iPhones in the Voice Memos app. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, we'll do like a tutorial where we go more in depth on like drum arrangement and stuff like that, since that's majority of what a lot of our tracks are, and just kind of like puzzle piecing these tracks together. I mean, this one has what, 141 tracks in here, and then there's like also this like other unused stuff that we end up not using. Oh, it's not working. Oh, yeah, I think that's another kick. this little fill, like some big band fill. Just things that, you know, they could work, but they're not always necessary. Like you can just add and add and add, but not everything is necessary to a track. Like this. I don't remember what this is. Vocal. Looks like we went and processed it some. Or sorry, not processed, but like froze it out because it sounds really dirty. Unless this is the original.
Seems legit.
Yeah. So I think we went and did a little bit of processing to it and froze it out. And it just ended up not working, so kept it there in case we wanted to come back to it, but nah. And again, just like, you know, little things like that end up just not being used, and most of the time we'll go and just get rid of them once the song is all done, but save one project with all those unused sounds, because you never know, they could be used in a different track. And so anyways, I mean, we're both super stoked on like the feedback on the first video that we did for Whiplash. So I mean, again, if you haven't seen that, check it out. Subscribe to us. We're gonna be doing more videos. We'll do more tutorials and stuff like that. We'll go more in depth on like how we write tracks and all that fun stuff too. So yeah, this is G from X and G signing off. Thanks for watching.